Good morning, everyone. How a lovely day. This is your presenters, Mu'akbar Erha. Have you ever imagined how I and any other reporter gathering information from the news? So, in this case, I want to tell you about the techniques that we use in gathering information. At the first, we go into the observations. Observations, in the simple way, observes social reality. There can be direct observations or indirect observations. It's called direct observations when someone witnesses an event with his own eyes. In another way, indirect observations, if someone doesn't witness the events that occur through the information from other people who witnessed the event. Interview are the Q&A between a journalist and a resources person to obtain data about phenomenon. There are three matters which have to be handled in each interview. First, what should be achieved in the interactions? Two, what identities are constructed and negotiated? And three, in what context the interview takes place. A meeting organized for the purposes of distributing information to the media and answering questions from the reporters. Normally, the press conference is led by their company's executive management or their appointed press liaisons. In press conference, every journalist has the same right to ask questions. A formal printed announcement by a company about its activities that is written in the forms of news article and given to the media to generate or encourage publicity. In the press release, there are no questions and answers with reporters and sources. There is no opportunity to journalistic to ask about the issues. Also, the requirement to journalists to post this press release.
I'm Sweden. I will explain the rules of interview. Interview are analyzed as communicative activity. Here, the concept of communicative activity refers to social situate and born from a thought and interaction. In broadcast news production, more or less specialized form of interview are developed and used on a regular basis. Basically, the specialization is manifested in the participant role and the discovered research use. More specific than just asking and answering questions. The interview step 1. Preposition process. A. Determine the purpose of the interview. Interview topic. B. Determine the information that will be collected or recorded. C. Determine and contact research person. D. Complete a list of questions. Interview research completed state. The interview report consists of the following section. A. Interview theme of topic. B. The purpose of the interview. C. Identity of the source. D. Summary of interview content. The contents of the interview can be right in the form of a dialogue or in the form of narrative. Preparation of the interview include the following. 1. Before conducting an interview, an interviewer should compile a list of asked questions. The interviewer must have knowledge about the thing to be interviewed. 2. When conducting interviews, be polite and do not corner the source. 3. Be a good listener, don't repeat question. 4. Write down the main or important thing from the result of the interview. 5. Summarize the result of the interview and do not write things that are not too main or important thing of the news. Make them as news right material.
Hello everyone, I'm Raghav Mayoga. Now I'm going to explain about the process and stage of broadcasting news. The news production process prioritizes speed in production activities and in presenting their work to the audience. The information or message conveyed must be factual and contain important and interesting values for public consumption. In a concurrent time-bound production process, the planning, production, and editing processes must be carried out quickly because news production like these processes the actuality of the news. Every television show production requires clear and efficient stage of production. The production stage consists of three parts in accordance with the Standard Operational Procedure or SOP. Because news is tied to its high actuality and factual value, it is necessary to pass through this stage. 1. Pre-production. This stage is very important because this stage is the planning stage of a series of production activities to be carried out. If this stage is carried out in detail and well, the result will be in accordance with what was planned. 2. Production represents all news coverage activities both in the studio and in the field. 3. Post-production is all activities after coverage, script writing, editing, voice filling until the material is declared complete and ready to broadcast. Okay? Thank you.
I'm Azhari Darmawan. Today, I'm gonna explain to you about the stage of news production. Here are the stage of news production as suggested by J.B. Wahyudi. The first is covering ideas. The idea for coverage come up in an editorial meeting. The meeting, which consists of program producers, coverage coordinators, cameraman coordinators, presenters, and executive producers, discuss an idea for coverage and weigh it from all sides. Talk include information to be obtained, picture to be recorded, and search to be interviewed. The second is coverage. The ideas that have been agreed upon by the editorial meeting are carried out by reporters and cameramen to gather facts from the field and from searches through the coverage coordinator. The development in the field will continue to be monitored to ensure the availability of material during broadcast. The third is rundown creation. A few hours before the broadcast, the editors once again gathered in a meeting called budgeting. The field coordinators delivers the news to the program producers, who then compile it in a rundown of the show. The meeting once again evaluated the urgency of the news to be broadcast, to seeing the suitability of the editorial meeting's order at the beginning. It also synchronized it with the current situations. The fourth is manuscript creation. After the rundown is approved, the reporter whose news will be broadcast immediately prepares the script. In this process, reporters must consider the availability of image that will support the report. In addition, reporters need to ensure that the interview footage matches to the script. After the script is finished, the producer will review it, both in terms of content and language. Good and correct Indonesian or bahasa is the basis for script writing. Incorrect use of grammar or terms can cause different meanings. The fifth is image editing. The manuscript that has gone through the editing process then continues to the image editing room. The editor is in charge of the process of combining manuscript and image. At this stage, all technical aspects of the image that will be presented to the audience must be taken into account. Conditions that are not up to standard, such as blue image or bluish, unfocused, should not be used in news results. And the last is broadcasting process. This is the final process in the series of program preparation. The results of the coverage that have been edited or in ready to broadcast form will be arranged to the rundown list. The master control crew prepared the supporting equipment to broadcast this program. Meanwhile, the presenter prepares to deliver